We're gonna try.
We're gonna try. So is this the part where we do welcome to the Rev Match Podcast, the automotive podcast where tornado?
Is Greg here?
Yeah. No, we're not using Greg anymore. I'm not, because it's just like the audio quality was so good just through Discord, and it saves me like a million hours of work. So I'm just fucking not gonna do it anymore.
All right.
Great.
I love it.
Because it's literally like you video edit everything, and then it's like export video, export audio, done. That was it.
Right.
I didn't have to do anything else. I was like, I'm not messing. And then, especially after that last time, like Craig cut out in the middle of it and like was useless anyway. And I was like, this is like more trouble than it's worth. So I'm just fucking.
I got you. Hold on. Now recording.
Thank you, Craig. It's Craig's brother, Greg. Just entered.
Right. Right. I love
So,
it.
as is customary, what's everybody drinking?
I
Start with the
have.
oldest man first.
Which one is that? Who's
That's
oldest
Mike.
here? Oh,
Oh yeah,
How am I the oldest here?
you're pretty sure you're the oldest.
Am I the oldest?
How old are you?
God, 35.
Cool.
No, you're not.
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really? Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. All right, Grandpa. What are you drinking?
Oh,
Oh.
gosh damn.
Prune juice? Is that what you got in this?
Yeah, I got a little prune juice.
Are we
No,
keeping you
just
from your Matlock marathon, grandfather?
Shut up.
Murder She Wrote.
Don't act like if anybody listens to this podcast and doesn't know what that is, I'm sorry. Like
Heated
I'm
night.
just
It's a bunch of fucking. It's a bunch of fucking zillennials that listen to this shit. None of them. know
oh
what it is.
god. No, standard White Claw, little Tito's, but this is the new little blackberry White Claw, which is semi decent there. So
So before we move on the subject of hard seltzers, my group of like gamer friends were up in arms last night because Bang Energy released a hard seltzer. Right?
I saw that.
oh,
There's no
gosh.
caffeine in it. There's no caffeine in it. So
What?
like, what the fuck is the
Why-
fuck is the point? Like, why is it?
Yeah.
Why even fucking?
It's
put
just it's just
it's
a
just a
Banks.
seltzer. It's just a seltzer. It's like a fucking, but it's like rosé. It's just stupid. But if you've seen the owner of Bang Energy, it makes complete sense. So
Okay, well.
if you don't know what he looks like, Google it because that's some shit. Anyway, Chris, you relate. You go.
I'm sipping on a sparkling ice. But I'm partaking in gummies.
Mixing it up. I like it. I appreciate it.
Okay.
Timmy, what are you drinking?
Ninkasi Brewing. That with a side of that, from Kyle.
That
this
guy
is
looks like
the
a fucking
juicy
crackhead.
Domino.
He looks ready to like bang. Like yell bang. Bang.
You like how he has like he has like the thinning faux hawk thing going on? You like that shit? It's just like
Is that? I haven't looked it up. It's like the early 2000s.
yeah, it's got like one of these,
Yeah.
but imagine it's like okay, so imagine you're building a barn, right? And you start with the roof, and then you just say fuck it. Like that's basically what his hair looks like.
He's Sham Wow minus the wow. Like
Yeah.
And the lazy eye. Yeah, he's more like slap chop. He's more of a slap chop.
Yeah. God.
Anyway, Timmy had a juicy IPA. Kyle, what are you drinking?
I love it.
I am actually on the Tito's and White Claw as well.
Damn.
What's up,
Is
girl?
this
The
fucking
latest-
white. It's white boy summer out here right now. Is that what's going on?
You know what I'm saying, bro? You know what I'm saying?
hot girls have hot girl summer. We have hot boy summer.
No, it's white boy summer with white claws and Tito's. White boys fucking doing hard white claws and Tito's and good credit scores and shit. That's what they're doing this summer. So I am drinking on the biggest fucking bottle of Knob Creek that I've ever seen.
I have one of those.
Whoa!
So is that legal in Texas because it's a dry county or what?
So there are only some dry. Some counties are legit dry. You can't buy booze in them. It's a fucking trip. And you can't buy booze
What?
before 12 on Sunday.
Because they all break
And-
out in gunfights. Pew, pew,
Bang,
pew,
bang,
pew.
bang. Yeah, pew, pew. Yeah. And then
No
the
way,
and then
really?
the barn raising is after that. Yeah.
You,
No,
you
right.
besmirched my Chuck Norris's, my Chuck Norris's.
Walker, Texas. Some of my friends were like, "You want to go to a Texas Ranger game tonight?" And I was like, "Is Chuck Norris going to be there?" They didn't think that shit was funny.
I laughed my ass off. That was great.
Yeah, no, it's
Oh,
pretty
my
good. I
lands.
say I'm just drinking bourbon. Yeah, just
I
drinking,
love it.
drinking bourbon. So we got
Mike,
like,
let's talk about the cool ass fucking cars we've seen this last little car show we went.
oh yeah. So you guys went to let me try to bring it up on the Grizzam. You guys went to T3, right? You went to Techno Toy
Yeah.
Tuning. Yeah,
Yeah.
very fucking cool.
Yeah,
If you
dude,
guys
their
don't,
their
they
shop
do
is crazy.
they do mostly 8.6 and like Z shit, right? Like, do they do old school like?
Old school Datsun stuff, old school like
Corolla.
a Corolla, like you said.
Uh-huh.
I mean, while Kyle and I were there, like they so had a car show out front, and then they had like actually a shop tour. Like you could walk through their shop, and they had like someone had set up a like little stand with a bunch of the Matchbox cars, like
Okay.
rare ones that were like JDM. Like we found a couple of 33s, a couple of 34s, like old school stuff. And
Damn, is that a turbo L28? That's fucking gangster. It's like, let's take an old fucking the white
Yeah.
There was a white Datsun with like a turbo L28 straight
Yeah.
six, which is
there was
fucking
a
sick.
couple of Datsuns there. I mean, there was that black one that was a drag car that was just nuts. I mean, the turbo was as big as my head. Like it was stupid.
Is that a K-swap fucking 5? Is that a Bluebird? Is that what that is?
The yellow thing.
No, it's a. I'm on our Instagram
Oh.
right now, clicking through the slides. I can't show it to you guys, but it was a white car, flared, and it looks like it has a K-swap in it. Which I'm all about. That is a K-swap.
Yeah. Yes. That was a
That's
K-swap in there.
Fucking sick. Oh, I'm all about that shit. Look at the polished heads.
Yeah. They pulled a good little crowd there. But their shop was nuts. They literally had an old 86, the Corolla, and like you could see the thing was trash. It was stripped down. All it was the body. And Kyle actually pointed out that they had taken basically like a small like tube subframe with wheels on it and had to weld it to the body because they ripped the entire thing apart because the whole bottom of it was just rotted out. So you're watching them actually. And then they had the rear end was done. They had it all mocked up where it had all the link suspension, the control arms, the coilovers, and you could see the progress of where they were cutting out the body panels to weld new ones in. I mean, like this shop takes it from like ground zero to a full running whatever you want, and it was. I was blown away by the.
I didn't know they did that. Yeah, I didn't know
blown
they did any
away
of that
by
shit.
like the craftsmanship. Like you walk in and like you're thinking this is going to be a small shop. I mean, the shop was freaking massive. I mean, they had like areas where they had all the, like their merchandise that they send out, and they had all their shipping containers, and then they had all the parts they keep in stock, all the rare stuff, and they had engines and transmissions over here. And it like, dude, it was like in a super well-oiled machine. Like it was very cool to see that.
That's fucking legit, dude.
Yeah, like they put on a good show for sure. But then there was a mix of other cars there. I mean, there was a couple of Porsches.
There was that M5. Yeah, there's like that E39 M5 that was out there.
Dude, that M5 had Kyle. Was it 360,000 original miles?
Something around there. Yeah.
No
legit.
joke. No joke. The guy had it, and his story was great. I mean, it was his dad bought it in. What did he buy it in? I think he said 2001.
Early 2000s, yeah.
2001, and it was his daily driver for like 20 years. He was a lawyer and would go back and forth to the office. That car was actually painted, I think he said, in 2004.
Jesus.
You saw how clean that car was.
Yeah.
Like that car. There's no fucking way until I saw the odometer that it had 360,000 miles on it. Like it was stupid clean. And the kid was super cool. He talked about the car. He's like trying to carry on the tradition. Talked about how kind of now parts are getting really harder to find.
Yeah.
Or more people.
Isn't that like the last hand built M5?
I think so.
That generation, right? It was like the last hand built one. That one or the one after it. I know it's like really close to that.
And parts are getting harder to find. Like he said, the front end took him 2 years to piece together.
Yeah.
What?
European
And he
style, so,
gets a European front end, and he got
Yeah.
super lucky. This guy bought it, had his car, wrecked his car, and then never put the car back together. So he had a brand new OEM stock, never painted front end that the guy bought, but it took him 2 years to find all the lights, all the trim, all the little bits and pieces to be able to put it together.
That's
Like
fucking wild.
he had just got it like 6 months ago or something like that. It was crazy in the stories he was telling about it. But super freaking clean car, man.
That's
That
tight
car was
though. Like
gorgeous.
that's like I'm into those stories of like
And it was that kid's daily driver for 5 or 6 years after he bought it from his dad, and then he finally kind of was like, okay, I got to get something else. It's starting to have, problems and issues that I can't sort out on the
Mhm.
quick. So he
Right.
got something else, but is still wanting to never not drive the car, wants to keep it rolling, wants to, put more and more miles on it, which is, dude, that's super cool.
that I don't have the patience for that shit, to be completely honest with you. You know what I mean? Like even
Instant
for
gratification.
no,
even for
and
like
then the
new
guy-
cars, it's super hard to get parts right now. So like to imagine
Yeah.
trying to find some shit where like they don't even make parts for it anymore. Like I can't even
Right.
imagine. Kyle, what were you gonna say?
I was to say you could be like the guy that rolled in with the RX-7 that had the LS swap in it. That was
Dude,
I mean, that's like
clean.
I remember seeing like an LS7 swapped RX7 at a Week Fest show at Fort Mason, and this is like 10 years ago. You know what I mean? And that was like when LS swaps are like first really kind of and in Japanese cars anyway, right? We're like first kind of becoming a
Right.
thing. And I was like, this is fucking wild. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
I was like, this engine bay, the engine used to be like this big. And now you've got this big fucking 427 cubic inch fucking Rips Horn
Monster.
V8. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, this thing's
it
fucking
barely
sick.
fit for sure. It was
Yeah.
cool to look at. Like
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was tucked to the ground. I mean, we were looking at how like he had like the oil filter. I mean, like, dude, the oil filter couldn't have been like this high off the ground. Like it was. I'm like, bro, I don't know how you get out of parking lots and don't destroy this, but
Yeah.
I mean, all of a sudden you could hear him. I mean, we were going up and down these hills because it was in Cameron Park, and you just hear it, as he's going up and down the hills. It was cool to see because I've actually never seen one of those in person, and it was
Yeah.
clean.
An
I mean,
FD,
it
you never
was
seen an FD in person?
no, not like that.
Yeah.
It was a super clean swap. I mean, this last mod was to do the body. I mean, the body's
Yeah. I mean,
original one, right? So it needs love, but
it's fucking what the last year they made him here. So it's probably like a 93 or some shit. So I mean, it's fucking almost as old as I am. Not nearly as old as Mike is, but it's almost as
Yeah,
old.
fuck you.
You're
You're not that much younger than me, man.
Fucking
Why are you roasting me right now?
Young enough. This motherfucker said artifact. He called him an
Awesome.
artifact.
Man.
I remember that kid. I
We're gonna
remember that
put you
kid.
in the Smithsonian right next to the Motorola Razor.
I'm okay with that, bro. As long as I get to bring my Skyline, I'm okay with that. I'm
Old man
fine.
with an old car. Just a man and his
Fine.
Ultima in a love story.
And you still all are jealous of it. It's all good.
That's true. So I know you guys don't really follow drifting right that much, but there's a drifter and his name's this has to do with Skylands. There's a drifter's name's Ryan Literal. And he for a long time he was drifting an S14 with an RB26 swap, made like 950 horsepower, right? And people no big deal, right? Whatever. The generally dudes go to 2Js because they're cheaper. They used to be cheaper, perceived to be more reliable, easier to make power, and you can get parts stateside, right? You don't have to import shit because they actually sold that engineer. So him and this other drifter get into this fucking Instagram beef over engines, and he's been on this fucking RB Army fucking Instagram rampage for 3 straight weeks at this point, like tagging other drifters talking shit, like straight up like going in, dog. And it's like this dude's never had a podium, you know what I mean? Like he's fucking, like, he's a good driver. He's got an episode on Hoonigan when they were at the Donut Garage still, and he was like one of the first dudes to run Manline and like really slay. He like I think he did the first 180 on the dock which was fucking nuts because it's like no space, right? So the dude can drive, but just professional drifting is a whole other thing. But it's just fucking funny, dude. Like I've never seen somebody make an engine a personality trait like that before. Like he's got like him and his homies made like a 4-minute documentary about RBs, and it's like it's a power plant, dog. Like, you know what I mean? It's a fucking means to an end. Like that's it.
Like, cool.
Dude.
Yeah, cool. You're
I
cool.
mean, that's like,
Yeah.
I mean, that's like the epitome of the car community. It's like you'll have dudes who are like putting LS motors in a fucking RX-7. But it's like I can respect the build, but then like the purist car community is like, oh fuck this guy.
And then you have Rob Dom, who's like, I'm gonna rotary swap a fucking Z06.
Yeah, I was like, oh my god.
And sneak that bitch into LS Fest.
Okay.
It's so funny, dude.
I thought this was bullshit. So I saw on TikTok the other day, and this is kind of going to lead in the next subject that we were talking about 90s cars. I saw this on TikTok, I think it was yesterday, and this kid went on AutoZone and put in 95 Toyota Supra turbo motor. AutoZone will sell you a 2J
What?
Fuck off.
for $4,000.
Fuck off.
I just Googled it. I literally just typed it in. They will sell you a remanufactured engine block that is stamped as a block cast as a 2JZ inline head. No distributor, no crank sensor, mounting to oil pump, timing gear belts or
So
tensioners
it's
available.
literally it's a short block,
It's a long block. It's got a head on it.
Oh.
but no
it
accessory
literally-
drive.
No accessory drives, but $4,000.
What?
I'm not
fuck?
fucking kidding you.
I was
like, I remember I sent it to myself in my text messages because like, you're scrolling through and you forget about shit. And I was like, I want to look into that. It literally says $4,039.99,
it won't even let me look at it.
and you can get a refundable core for $360.
And you're gonna spend $800 in shipping.
I'm just gonna type in RB26 and just see what happens for shits and giggles. Nothing.
Something like,
that's.
I
What
mean,
thought.
after that,
I
How
can
much-
no, I can order it. It's on back
second.
order, but I can have it by August 23rd.
Wow.
wait, so I mean, like from that, how much more would you invest into this motor to get it running?
$2,000
Really?
Yeah.
for the motor stuff. You'd have to do all your.
I
other
mean, yeah. I mean,
version stuff.
but at that point, if you wanted to go like
Go
like
on,
big-
like full on. Only thing you're missing is a motor.
yeah, you'd need like $2,000. To get
yeah,
that
like
motor
like
running.
if you were at the track and you blew your motor and like you wanted to just start over, like that's what you would go with. Like
That's an option.
that's
That's
a
cool.
great option because
Fucking AutoZone.
let me.
What's that about?
I'm telling you, bro. I'm not even.
As
Hold
a
on, I-
mechanic, I hate AutoZone. That is legit as fuck.
Can you move your mic to your face? Kyle's like constantly like Kyle's the new mic. He just kind of slowly moves his mic away from us.
Sorry.
I don't want it to look like I'm sucking a dick.
I'm just gonna call out Kyle's aggressive knife hand.
Big back bullshit. So speaking of 90s, what about 90s supercars?
Ferrari
Yeah.
F40 all day. Ferrari fucking
Huh?
F40. Ferrari
Leave the
F40 all
F40
day.
out there. Everybody
What do you
loves the
mean?
F40.
Because
Leave
it's
the
just
F40
like that's
out
just
there.
like
That's gold. That's
and it's just like
I was
It
posting
is
that
gold,
thing all
but
week on
that-
Instagram. Like it was just shooting flames out of the exhaust. Like
Yeah.
but it's just such like the and I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna offend some. It's kind of like the basic bitch choice of like 90s
It
supercars.
is. It is.
No.
It is. It's
Yeah.
the one that
McLaren,
everybody
McLaren
knows,
F1
right?
would be the
Everybody
basic
knows
bitch
I
choice.
would argue they're on the same level.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah.
I'm gonna say like I'd want like an NSX. I
Beautiful.
would love.
That's
to
not a
have
supercar.
Yes, it is.
First of all, it was faster than the not the F40, but the comparable Ferrari around the track. And Ayrton fucking Senna helped design it, so it absolutely is a supercar.
That is a supercar.
It's all
Yeah.
titanium hardware. Every single bolt on that car is titanium.
Yeah, titanium, man.
Real mature, Chris. Real mature.
They're real mature.
NSX is the way.
I love
Nerd.
NSXs. I think they're great. I think they're fucking great. I think they're super underappreciated. I think it's such a Honda car because it's like Is
VTEC,
it
bro.
well, it's like, yeah, but it's like technically it's underpowered. It made like 265 horsepower or some shit like
Yeah.
that, right? But it's just like
Right.
it's light, it's balanced, it handles ridiculous, and
Yep.
like you can push it into a corner fast as fuck, right?
And it
It's like-
looked awesome, and the interior
It
was
looks
cool.
great.
Yeah,
and,
it looks.
and they're going up in price right now.
Yeah.
Stop.
That's like
going up,
Halo.
Chris.
That's like a Halo. That's
But
like a Halo
but
car.
like that was like when like Honda and Acura were competitive in that market, and like they flexed their muscle, and you could see like really like what the Japanese were bringing to the market at that time. If you
Yeah,
think
because you were
about
peak
era.
Supra, you were peak Skyline, you were peak. That was
Right.
like the golden. Yeah, that was like the golden age of JDM cars, right? Like that was
Right.
because you
Right.
had 180 SXs,
Yep.
fucking, you know, you had the Sylvia Ks and the Aces and all that shit. You know, so everything running SR20s and all that types of shit.
Yeah.
And like
Absolutely.
people forget there was like SR20 Neos with like variable valve timing and all this other shit. Like they had some really advanced engine technology for the time. And
hell
that
yeah.
was Toyota was doing all that crazy shit with the fucking all four Celicas and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like so you had
Yeah.
all wheel drive turbo Celicas and shit. So yeah,
How
it's
much
just
cool
like
shit came out of the 90s, like as experimental.
they just didn't
It's
give a
shit.
fuck.
It's shit they still use
Yeah.
today, though. I mean, like
Right.
to a point.
Yeah.
I think
I mean-
it really leads into the like the 90s is cool no matter what, like no matter what type of vehicle. What I mean, like, you know, whether it's German or fucking Japanese or American or whatever, all
Right.
those cars will still be cool because they're all analog. Like it's like OBD1 until like 96, right? So it's like there's not a ton of sensors and shit. You can still be kind of stupid and fix them. You know, you don't need a scan tool for every fucking thing. I mean, it's like TPMS sensors and all that kind of shit, right? Or not TPMS, TPS sensors.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just like, and like I think that's why like newer supercars aren't going to hold value like
Yeah.
the old ones
Yeah.
do, just
Yeah.
because computers get old. And it's like, do you think everybody gives a fuck about an old iPhone? You know what I mean? It's like the same type of shit. So
You want to spend
I think it's relative,
$15,000
though,
to
right?
replace this?
Like,
do
would it
Right.
be kind of relative to like the age gap? I mean, like we're drooling over 90s cars. Like,
well, my point is,
I mean,
is like, so like cars from the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s are still sought after, right? What's
Yeah.
the major differentiator there? They don't have screens in them.
Yeah.
Right. So once you start putting screens and shit,
It's analog. You know,
well,
it's all
you
still
when
know,
you
old
when
school.
yeah, when you get in a car and there's no screen, you don't think about like, oh, this thing's fucking old as fuck. When you get in a car and it's like you've been in an old Rover, and it's like some shitty fucking screen. It's like green
It's
gauges and everything. Yeah, it's just like
Dude, those old Rovers are fucking
yeah, and it's but it's like you get in it, and you're like, I don't want to be here. This thing's a piece of shit.
right, right,
Yeah.
right.
Like,
Okay.
get your
Anyways,
it looks like Mike's
really
flip phone. You know what I'm saying?
We have the same
because
phone.
it's because he's old.
We have the same phone.
Anyways, what about the? It's not the most attractive. I don't think it is, but I really enjoy the Bugatti EB110.
U110. Yeah.
12 quad turbo, 2.5.
See, but I like ugly things.
530 horse,
No, that
I
thing's
think
sick.
that thing
4
looks
turbos.
sick
Like, who can argue with that
in the
on a
90s.
V12?
Look at
Right,
those
I
headlights.
mean-
Look at those fucking headlights, though.
I'm bringing it up.
Those look. Oh man.
It's better than the fried egg 911.
I agree with
Yeah.
that
Yes,
sentiment.
Yes.
Nobody wants a 996 911's headlight. I mean, I'm
I don't
sorry.
know what's
If you
going
say
on
you
with my
do,
internet.
you're a liar.
I don't know what's going on with my internet right now, but yeah. So anyway, I'm just showing them EB110s, and it's like it's super funny because you look at this car and then you look at like a Veyron and like that little itty bitty grill. They just
Right.
Oh
fucking, like
yeah.
blew it
Well,
up.
isn't the Veyron its predecessor from that, right? That's
Yeah.
kind of where they
Yeah.
went from that.
That's
yeah.
like the older brother, and then it kind of trickles down. And you get the Veyron, and then you get the Chiron. And I think, yeah, no, I think that car is fucking rad. My favorite supercar from the 90s, and this is just because it was one of my first like
Honda
Hot Wheels cars.
NSX.
No, bitch, Lamborghini Diablo, you fucking piece of shit. All right, with your basic bitch
okay.
at 40, right? With your basic fucking Toyota Corolla of 90s supercars, get the fuck out of here with that shit. It's got VVT. It's a super. Dude, how do you not love a fucking Diablo, dude? Like, they're so fucking ridiculous. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's like,
Me, I'm just gonna pout about it. Me.
Yeah.
like just like look up a Diablo SV and just look at that fucking thing, and it's like,
No,
it's,
I mean, back in the day, the whole square
Mm.
body, like the whole like super sharp lines, like
Mhm.
that was what the supercars were about,
Mhm.
and that's how all the aerodynamics and all that stuff. And then you saw it migrate from the early 90s to mid 90s to late 90s and early transition to 2000s, where everything started to kind of round out a little bit more. Start to see like more like we talked about the Porsche with the freaking egg freaking headlights. Those things
So like,
suck.
so
I
like,
think
go ahead.
I think what I can appreciate about the 90s, though, I mean, like, looking at, I mean, I totally Googled this shit. I cheated.
Right.
Looking at the Porsche 911 GT1, I'm like, looking at like all
Oh
these
yeah, I was
early
just gonna
Le
talk
Mans
about those
cars,
things.
dude.
They're
Like,
fucking.
see, all this
there was,
technology made it to the street. Like,
because there was like the
years
well, they had
later,
to.
that's
It was
cool.
well, like they had to homologate all those GT1 cars, right? So yeah, there was like
Yeah.
the Porsche Carrera GT1. There was the Mercedes CLK GT1, which was
Yeah.
fucking ridiculous
That
looking.
thing was
Yeah.
sexy looking.
I had like a, I had a fucking. Let me see if I can read it. I had a 1/10 scale,
Because didn't you have to have 25 of a model?
some shit like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
Wait, what?
to
but it-
get one. Yeah, there's a certain.
you had to
There's
be
a certain-
invited to purchase one, but they were required to
Yeah.
manufacture so many for the road.
Invited to purchase one?
Like the Enzo, like to
Could
buy
you-
an
could you
Enzo.
imagine
You
you
had,
have that
Dude,
money, though?
any-
That'd be
it-
sick.
any of those supercars you get invited to buy the car, they don't. You don't approach them; they approach you.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
hey, we have this car coming out. We know you'd like to be the first ones. We're going to offer it to you. Like the 918 was sold out before it really went public. Anybody knew what it was or what it looked like or anything like that. Like
Yeah.
literally was sold before it was even manufactured.
you know what the
Wow.
easiest
Oh,
hypercar to
yeah.
buy right now is?
Huh?
Veyron.
What?
There's like 35 of them sitting on dealer lots right now across the country. Because dudes that
Okay.
buy that type of shit, they have to have the newest shit, and then they just get rid of it. Nobody give this is this is exactly my point. Okay, if you have a Countach, if you have a Countach, right? Did you give a fuck when the Diablo came out? No, you kept your fucking Countach because it's a Countach, and the Diablo is still a Diablo, and the Murcielago is still a Murcielago, and an Aventador is still an Aventador. But when a Chiron comes out, does anybody give a fuck about a Veyron anymore?
No.
No.
Yeah.
And like you got to
Money
think about
problems,
that,
baby.
I mean,
I know that is
did-
fucking big money problems, baby.
That is really big money problem.
Yeah. Like
I got
It's-
those, but in the opposite direction.
There's a negative
is,
next to it.
is this the segment? Is this the segment where Kyle likes to try and convince everybody that he's poor when he just got like $3,000 in the 85 parts shipped to himself?
Thank you, Stimulus.
Gummit.
Thanks, Biden. Just kidding.
Gummit bucks.
Gummit. It's
Yeah, speaking of, I actually got a confirmation that I will be receiving all my fueling on Friday.
nice.
So my my fuel pump, my bigger fuel line, the multi-port rail, the injectors, all that crap. I already got my Euro manifold. I don't know if I said that before, but
I don't remember either.
bought a Euro manifold because over there it comes stock as multi-port, so you get direct injection and
We have
port
talked about that
injection.
before. Yeah. Yeah, you have
Yep.
it's
Yeah.
the dual rail.
Yeah.
So Ed, or I don't know if Ed made it happen or Dave at EQT made it happen. But they got
Those are the guys that
Euro
blew your engine, right?
manifolds. Yeah. Oh yeah, they blow all the motors. Fuck you.
Anyway.
God damn, bro.
God
I'll never let it die.
So
I will never let that die.
That was one of the best. I ain't gonna lie about
Yeah,
that.
so I got my urinal manifold. They decided to buy X amount. I don't know what it was. I ended up buying one on pre-order. They sent it. It's sitting at the shop right now.
Nice.
I actually did I have a can of E85 over here. You know where you get the little ethanol
Mhm.
tester. The station that's like 5 minutes from my house is straight E85, which is
Perfect.
fucking beautiful. Already bought my tune for E85, waiting on the email, to download it. And then, of course, doing the install. I don't know if it's going to be this weekend or next weekend.
So the tune is that a base map and then you take it to them and they fine tune it, or how does that work?
So it is a base map, depending on my modifications. Obviously, everything that they recommend. Base map, I can either drop it off at EQT and they do some dyno tuning for the day or however long they need it, or I do my Mexico runs while logging, send them the logs, and then they revise the tunes. Every couple of days as I update them, they send me a revision or something. And
You should
kinda
fucking go to the dyno and record it. I think that's what you should do.
Mexico works too.
I think we
Yeah.
should go to Mexico.
I
we should
love
go
Mexico.
Mexico's got tequila.
I'm
Sorry,
technically
Alex,
closer
you're
to
on your
Mexico.
Yeah.
We go see Alex real quick.
Shush, Alex. Shush.
I'm
It's
excited.
only a quick
I'm gonna
26-hour
ask-
drive.
Yeah, I'm running stock motor, dynoed at like 460 wheel ish, whatever it was.
So it'd be well
gonna
over
tell 'em.
5.
Yeah, I don't know what it is to the crank. I have no idea. I'm gonna tell them to full send it. I also have bigger map sensors, so I can push more than 2 bar. I think they're 3 or 4 bar. I don't remember off the top of my head.
For those of us that don't speak,
Oh my
like,
God.
who only work in freedom units, that's
Freedom
40.
units.
That's 42 psi.
Oh my God,
to.
Kyle.
So
Are you trying to go to the space? Like trying to go to the moon? Like
Wow.
That's a rocket ship.
The piston in my motor is trying to. I'm on stock block, by the way.
What? What?
yeah.
Just trying to send that bitch back to Stuttgart, dog.
I have. If you can't see it, I have an engine over there, and I actually have a second engine back there that I'm gonna slowly.
Didn't you buy a race block, or did you nix that idea?
Wait.
Some shit came up, and I had to kind of like
Understood. Yep.
fix that idea. So more important shit came up
Yep.
For the house and everything.
Was it
and
the
for
water heater
family.
that exploded?
No, that's
So and the fire department almost Mr. Steal Your Girl.
Right.
What?
Oh my God.
Actually, Jenna was in the car when I called you.
That's so funny,
yeah.
dude.
That's
I was
amazing.
talking hella shit too. That's so...
It was great. Yeah, thanks. My kids were in the car too.
Shut up.
Maybe you should open with that, dude.
Just so you know, before
Have
we
you
talk-
not watched that Kevin Hart skit? I mean, come on, homie. You got to have some kind of like code word or something.
Avalanche.
Bananas.
Like some shit.
Man,
You know what I mean?
I'm hungry as shit.
Can you guys hear me?
Alex would have said, "Go get some Subway." I'm like,
Right,
"Nah, man,
exactly.
I'm hungry as shit.
Can you guys hear me? You can't. Hear me.
No, Alex, we cannot hear you.
Okay.
Stand by.
Hold, please.
Silence.
So
Okay.
yeah, NSXs, you know.
Oh, by the way, I
Diablo.
never gave my 90s supercar, which I'm
You
sure
own one, asshole.
that's not.
It's
I
not a
know
supercar, though.
that's not a supercar.
It's a sports
I'm-
car.
I mean, it's
It
a
is a sports car.
skyline.
I will tell you,
It's
yes,
not
a
it's
supercar
if you
with-
want to call it a supercar, it's a supercar, whatever.
Not a supercar.
It's not a supercar.
Still to this day,
Can't even
the-
be
the,
a
the
supercar now.
ultimate the ultimate 90s supercar will always be the 911 Turbo from Bad Boys,
I mean, that's true.
Okay.
hands down, hands
Yeah.
down,
Yeah.
hands down.
Oh.
Me
7.1, right?
997
From Bad Boys?
Bad
No.
Boys 1,
What is that?
No,
the
no, no, no,
black
no, no.
930
Nine-
Turbo.
930 turbo.
The black
It-
930
it's
Turbo where he
old.
drops the French fry and he's like, pull the
Old.
fuck over. This
Don't
is
do
like
my-
one of 1 of 500, you're gonna get the fucking French fry right there. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking
No
about the black 930 turbo.
Was that a supercar?
No, excuse me. It was a Turbo
I don't
S.
remember that.
Bro.
It is
Yeah,
a Turbo
the 930
S.
Turbo S is a supercar.
Is it?
Yes, hands down.
Fuck off, Chris.
That's like
Yes.
Porsche's like first one.
Let
I'm
me see.
trolling. I'm trolling.
You are trolling,
I'm
homie.
trolling.
Like that. That was one of their like beyond collectors cars. Like right now, those cars go for
so much money.
an easy, probably almost $1 million.
You might be
Like,
pushing it there.
The last one when I left Porsche, the one
Bring
that
it,
I
trailer.
knew of,
It's a 964. Yeah, it's a 964 Turbo S.
the one that I knew of, which is it's got stupid low miles. It's got like 21,000 miles on it, and it's painted like that silver like liquid color. It's weird. Last I heard,
What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
no. The one in the movie, yes.
Oh,
The
I
one,
got
the
you,
one
yeah.
that I know of in town. He would sell it, but he was asking damn near $1 million, and I heard he had a couple of offers for close to it. I don't know if he actually got $1 million for it, but I heard it was in that ballpark. But
So I'm
the
looking
one
at-
that's in the movie is the Turbo S, the 9. I think it's the 93. Is
So
it 93?
Oh my god, Jesus! It's not
You
$1
guys are
million, but the average price for of a 911 Turbo 3.6 964 is $237,000.
But what's a Turbo S?
I mean, I don't think there's
A
none
Turbo
for sale.
Actually,
Oh no!
actually
You know
have
what?
that
You're
money.
absolutely right. The top sale was
Weird.
$1.8 million.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
The lowest sale price was
$716,000.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, like
wow.
that car. Like, I'm pretty sure.
Dogecoin.
I don't think it's 1 of 500. I think there's more than that, but it's a very low. It's
So I'll put
within
it to you like this: according to
2,000.
Classic.com, there's 0 for sale, and the total sales that they've tracked in like the last 10 years is 5.
Wow.
It's a unicorn.
Yeah.
It's a flat out fucking.
Yeah,
unicorn.
it's a fucking unicorn.
Yeah,
Like
they're
that.
sitting in dream showrooms and dream private collections.
It's.
I mean, staying on topic of this one, is like there's also the roof CTR.
Oh,
Yellowbird.
The
Oh,
Yellowbird,
whoa,
the
yeah.
CTR too.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot
Oh,
about
yeah.
that.
So are we talking
I totally
about,
forgot about that.
90s supercars, or are we talking about figments of your fucking imagination? 'Cause
I'm talking about fairy tale shit right now.
So
Yeah,
I
you
was
are.
listening to Smoking Tire, Matt Ferris Smoking Tire, which
Mhm.
still is one of the best automotive podcasts in the game, and I love not to just, like fucking fanboy
You
on
wanna
that
fuck
dude's
him?
podcast, kind of a little bit.
Mhm.
I mean, he's bald, he's got a beard.
It works.
He owns his own
Weird.
fucking collector car storage. He got to
Dude.
drive.
Yeah.
Westside Collector Car Storage is the dream. Anyway, he got to
Yes.
drive the Yellowbird. They pulled it out of the fucking Peterson so he could drive
What?
it.
What?
And in his paraphrasing, what he said is like, that fucking car holds up in performance with anything that you could buy brand new on a lot right now.
Oh,
And
I'm sure.
that car is 30 years old.
Yeah.
So when you think about what roof does to cars, what they do to I mean, people consider them a Porsche tuner, but that's not fair to roof, really,
No.
because they get their own VINs. You know what I mean? Like, it's a completely different vehicle at that point.
I got to drive an RT12.
That's gangster as fuck.
RT12, white cocoa interior, and like
That's so
literally it was like it was a customer of ours, and we got to
Oh, no, I
service
thought
it.
it was
And
just some dude you met at the gas station. Anyway,
no,
Hey, man,
We
you
like-
won't grab my car. You can
we
stop
got
in here.
to we got
were you
to
guys
play
homies
with
at the
that thing.
retirement home, Mike? Anyway,
Oh yeah, for sure. You know, that's what I do, bro. That's how I make my living. Anyways, like
Wait,
the
what?
only thing that said Porsche on it was the rear window. Everything else was roof. And like even in when you got in the car, the whole roll cage was wrapped, and you could not see the roll cage or anything like that. It was
They leather wrap 'em.
it wasn't leather wrapped. It was all Alcantara. It was all brown Alcantara through the whole thing.
That's so crispy.
And it wasn't the lowest RT12. It was like the mid one. So it was, I think technically it was rear wheel drive.
Mhm.
But dude,
Yeah.
Dude,
Oh,
that
that's
is
hot.
so
That's so hot.
sick.
yeah,
That's pretty hot.
yeah, like I got to
Sick.
rip that
Is that
thing.
Miami blue? Fuck, that's so sick.
Yeah.
I can't.
I got to rip that thing. That
Fuck.
thing was stupid fast.
They're
Like,
dumb.
and,
They
and,
made
and
their own fucking V8 to put in Porsche chassis, dude. Roof has
Yeah, I
makes
know.
V8.
I know.
It's fucking like
the refinement of that car and what they said about the Yellowbird is absolutely true. That RT12 would run the brand new 911 Turbo S and give it a run for its money all day long. Like,
which is crazy when you
hands
think
down.
what a fucking feat of engineering the new 911 Turbo is.
I
That thing
know.
is
Yeah.
insane,
Yeah.
dude. That
Yeah.
is nuts. And like,
Yeah.
I mean, that's full on like unobtainium because what do we say? They're pushing 300 grand now, some shit like that, right?
The
Like
most spec
two-
one we've had is 273 so far.
So 300 grand. Might as well be
Well,
$1 million. Might as well be $1 million.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
I mean that
It's like,
that
do you
that
guys
the
take
feat-
testicles in trade? Because it might be worth it.
right.
Probably.
The
Talk-
feat
talk
of engineering. Now you're starting to see that. Like that is like if you look like where the Turbo was in 2010 and where it is in 2021,
It's a huge difference.
holy shit, it's massive.
I
That's
don't
actually
care.
Horsepower, the
them
suspension, the transmission,
I'm just
the
gonna do something real
turbos,
quick. One
like
second. I
the
wanna
like the
look some up.
engineering of that car in 10 years
Mhm.
is insane. And you think about it, they and everybody's preached this. The amount of technology advancements that we made in the past 100 years is going to look like nothing in the next 10 years.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
like you see what that car did in 10 years. Think about what's going to do in 3 years now,
Sure.
4 years, 5 years. Like you're going to start to get to a point where like you're affecting like
Hold up.
massive like G forces on people. Like,
Well, that's the thing. Even
like
Dave
how much
talked
faster
to
can
a
we get?
customer about it? Like, yeah, like if you're going 1.50 to 60, like you're talking about people that possibly will pass out when
Is that what
flooring
it is?
Yes.
You're
911 Turbo S. No, it's 2.5. But I'm saying in the future, and when it gets to a 1 second 0 to 60,
So
Yeah.
here's
prepared
the
for that.
craziest part, and I didn't fucking know this until I just googled it. Do you know what the 0 to 60 time of a 2011 Turbo S was?
what
It's like
4.2?
3 something.
2.9
Oh, really?
in
Yeah.
2011.
Yeah.
Dude, those things are rocket ships.
Like,
Yeah.
that's fucking like, and
I
so
mean,
it's and that's one of those things where
Camaro's
it's like,
1.8.
Shut up, kid.
no, that's how many times you have to try to fucking start it. Anyway,
Oh,
Camaro line.
American made, man. American made.
yeah, you say that like it's a positive.
It's not.
Not
Sure
at
ain't.
all.
No.
Sure ain't, son.
Listen, if you can beat a 458 around a track for a third of the price, where do you think that money just disappeared? Just didn't need it. Is that what you think happened?
Right. Right.
Yeah, no, it's fast as fuck when it runs for sure. no fucking disagreements there.
Yeah.
And this goes but here's my problem with cars that fast. You can't use it on a day-to-day basis. Right? Like you can probably get a couple of quick 0 to 60 hits in, but like you can't really stretch the legs on that thing.
What its potential is?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like 80% of the time. And even around a track, just because you can afford it doesn't mean you're competent to drive it.
You got people that try though, that's for sure.
That I mean, well, dude, look how many fucking
Unfortunately.
listen. When Dodge was like, "We'll sell you 700 horsepower for 50 grand," how many of those motherfuckers got wrapped around telephone poles? You know what I'm saying? A gang of people, because it's people don't understand how much fucking power that is, and it's like you can work up to that, right, and like get comfortable with it. Like you got to tune your car, and then you drive it till it feels slow, and then you tune it some more, and then you drive that till it feels slow. Exactly, right? My car feels slow to me now, and it is slow, and I know it's slow, but it's right?
I was thinking it.
Yeah. Listen,
I was thinking.
and I'll circle back to that because I'm having a lot of thoughts, but it's the thing of like you have to just like kind of I think it's good to like grow with a car.
Yeah.
At least the first time.
Absolutely.
At least the first time you get into like really high horsepower, like it's good to grow into a car, right? Once you've driven one 1400 horsepower car, the chassis is gonna behave differently, whatever. But like the violence and being able to keep it together, like you know what that feels like. You're acclimated to that, right?
Right.
But
Yeah.
to be like, oh, I traded in my Honda Civic Si and bought a fucking Hellcat. It's like you're gonna kill yourself if you don't know what you're doing.
Oh,
Like-
yeah.
You are, yeah.
like,
It's
Yeah.
funny. I went on a. I have a friend that asked me to go look at a supercharged Stingray, like I think it was
Oh, yeah,
2016. I don't know, kind of the newer style.
yeah, it's a C7.
And
Yeah.
Yeah, C7 Stingray had a supercharger, like all carb legal. I think A&A or AA. I can't remember the company name. Went on a road test. I didn't drive it, but he drove it, and we went on a road test with it. And I was like, like after driving, like physically driving the Porsche Taycan and doing launch control and all that shit,
Yeah.
there is no. I haven't personally been in anything faster than that, like off the line.
Yeah.
You won't for a while
Because
either.
it grips so
Oh, yeah.
well, and it reaches that 0 to 60 so fast. After being in that super, it sounds fucking awesome, sure. But I was just like, like big deal. It's whatever. I hate my car, driving my car after being in a Taycan, but the guy that has never experienced it, like my buddy has never experienced a supercharged, Stingray.
Never been in a Taycan.
Right. Was like, holy shit, this is fast, and I'm over like, yeah, whatever, dude. Like, this is
Yeah.
There's faster
If you've ridden a 918 or a Taycan Turbo S, like
But
there's
here's the thing. This is a
there's
fucked up part
nothing.
about that. We had this whole conversation last episode, but the fucked up thing about electric cars is the 918 is fucking irrelevant when you're talking about Taycan Turbo S.
right. Oh yeah, right.
by like that much, but like it's not much, man. I can
But
tell
it's
you
a
that off.
game. It's a game.
I think the
of
thing that does it
milliseconds
different for
at
me,
this
like,
point.
because
Yeah.
I've driven both cars, I've launched both cars. I think the thing that gets the 918, I guess, a little ahead for me, I guess the acceleration, yes, is a little bit quicker in the Taycan, but like,
It's a sound.
yeah,
The
100%.
sound.
Like it makes your hair stand up. It makes you feel good. Like it makes you like.
Oh, for sure.
and then
I mean that
you
it's
kind of get
visceral.
best of
It's
both worlds.
visceral. It's
Yeah.
not, you know what I mean? Like
100%.
a Taycan's not visceral. It's surgical.
Oh, for sure.
It's a
Right.
precision
For
fucking
sure.
instrument. You know what I mean? But
Yeah. Fuck.
Yeah.
not a precision fucking
Yeah.
instrument, like a precision fucking instrument.
You
Who
get that
knows in the
Tron noise?
future? Who knows?
Right.
Amazing.
Yeah.
No, but,
But,
so
no,
no, go ahead, Timmy.
I
That
was,
wasn't me,
I was
no.
just gonna say we talk about the supercars now, and like, you're looking at that where they're going, and like you look back at like the 90 cars, and you look at the cars that are doing like 0 to 60 in like 4.3 seconds, right? Like, and that was like crazy
Blistering.
impressive, and like, oh
Right.
my god, like we're never gonna surpass that. Like, you think about it, and Tim's right.
Fuck
Like,
around and
what
find out.
happens? Yeah, what happens when you get down to a second? Like, what happens? Like, you
People
people
can't
like
drive
start
those.
like
You can't sell those cars. Like, there's going to become a point where it's irresponsible to sell vehicles like that.
Yeah.
Like-
Literally.
License.
I mean,
Yeah.
well,
or does it just get?
Do you
It
have a
should
fucking
already
SCCA
be
Pro
that
Cup
way.
license, sir?
Dad, I want that one.
But I think in the 90s, it wasn't even. I don't know if it was so much about the 0 to 60, but it was the top end.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
like the it was
It,
top
it,
speed
was
wars.
it was top
Let's
speed record.
reach 200
going-
miles an hour, right? And
Viper, Dodge Viper. Just saying that was like
right.
the fastest shit for
Viper.
a hot minute, which
No,
was a
no.
literal killing machine. Like literally would fucking kill you.
Right,
It's like-
and the 110 I think went 212.
I think so.
That was ridiculous for the 90s.
It
Like
still is ridiculous. It's 200 fucking
it
miles
still
an hour.
is, right? Yeah,
Like just be here's the thing. Like I feel like car dudes, especially when you're younger, I feel like you get wrapped up in the numbers game, and it's like
oh yeah,
just because a Chiron is pushing 3 does not mean that 185 miles an hour is not fast as fuck. Because that's fast as fuck. That's if
Yeah.
you don't react like this, you're
it
dead.
is.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
they're
Oh, yeah,
peeling you
right.
off the freeway like you're fucking done. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, and
Speaking
people
of-
try and do that
sorry.
in street cars. People don't know
Yeah.
when you start to go that fast, your car actually starts to come off the ground. Your wheels, your contact points starts to narrow.
Oh yeah, it's
You
like
know,
well,
being on
everybody's
a
seen
bike
that
at,
clip
like,
of the.
140. Ooh, yeah, it's
Well,
nuts.
you've
Yeah.
seen the Mercedes LMP1 car and it catches air and it just like fucking flips, right? Like, yeah, it's
oh
just
yeah,
like,
you're gone.
and that has all the aero in the world, and it's still like, nope, we out. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, it's sketchy, dude. You got to be.
And I mean,
fucking
the unfortunate thing, I know, Mike, you were going to say something, but the
Very good.
unfortunate thing is now, like, I mean, I love my weed, but so much money comes from weed nowadays and people that don't know how to drive.
Oh.
Like growing industries and stuff.
Okay, I
And-
was like, where the fuck is he going with this?
Anybody can come in and buy a fucking 911 turbo that does a 2.60 to 60, and you have no idea how to drive it.
And
but
they're
you have
high as fuck when they're doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like there should already be something put in to where it's like, if you don't know how to drive this car, with Porsches, honestly, Porsches are easy. I mean, if you haven't driven a Porsche, like, if you don't know how to drive, they're pretty damn easy to drive.
Like, go drive a Carrera T, and you'll realize that's all the car you need on a daily
Yeah.
basis.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like
So it's
315
like-
horsepower is plenty, dude. It's good.
hard to
Right.
push them unless you're
Like-
being stupid, but
Yeah.
like not anybody should be able to just buy a 911 turbo. Like that
No,
should not
they're
be
getting
just
that fast.
readily available. Yeah,
cars
they're
are
too
getting
fast.
cars are. I mean, I think that's a. I think that's like a super hot take for a bunch of car enthusiasts too, right? Who are like throwing money at our cars hand over fist to make them quicker, or less slow in my case, and it's like a hot take where it's like, listen, there's gonna be a point where like this is dumb, and like if somebody
Right.
just has enough money to go in and be like you can go buy like a 10-second car or like a McLaren 720S with downpipes runs like low nines.
Right.
Yep, I'm down.
That's
That's fine.
That'd be cool.
That's
That'd be
fucking-
cool.
That's fast as
That'd be
fuck,
cool.
dog. That's so fast. Like that's so people
Like a
like
Hellcat Demon.
that's
Yeah.
fast as
Rear wheel
fuck.
drive. Right.
Yeah.
With a manual, it's like you
But-
fucking you let out
Right.
first gear the wrong way and you're in a fucking telephone pole. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that is true. That is true.
You know, because everybody
That's
thinks
their
they're a badass driving out without traction control on. It's like you're not that fucking cool. It's not that
I
cool.
think it. Well, I mean, me and Timmy were having a conversation earlier with Dustin, our shop foreman, and pretty much we're talking about like when race car divers retires, that's when they find that first layer of fear. Like it's going to take fear to teach these kids when they buy these cars. It's like
Yeah.
I don't want that no more.
fucking Romain Grosjean, right? Like, dude's been in F1 for a fucking decade.
Yeah.
And he gets caught on fire in fucking, was it Bahrain? He fucking put it in the wall at 140 miles an hour. Car fucking bursts into flames. Somehow manages to get 2.5 minutes in a car that's on fire and split in
Get
half.
out.
And
Yeah.
they pull him out. And, you know, he needs skin grafts and all that shit. And he's like, for 2.5 minutes, my family thought I was dead. Like, I got to stop.
Yeah.
And that's it. And he's done. And he's just done with racing after that's been his whole career, his entire life.
Yeah.
Because F1
Yeah.
drivers, they start as kids, right? They're fucking doing karting, and that's all they ever know. And he's like, and granted, that, you know, listen, he can do, you know, vehicle development for a million different car companies and all this other
Yeah,
shit.
he's not gonna go jobless anytime soon.
No.
Right.
And he'll
Right,
still be
right,
behind
right.
the wheel of something fast, but not ragged
Not
edge.
that. Right.
Not open wheel to wheel at 200 mile an hour fast. You know what I mean? Like,
hmm
and yeah, you do. You have to find that first layer of fear. And I think, I mean, I've talked about crashing before. It's like that shit puts shit in fucking perspective. You're invincible till you're not. You know what I mean? And
Yeah. Oh yeah.
it's
Yeah, when I laid my motorcycle down, that was my
it's sketchy, dude.
come to Jesus meeting. Yeah.
Because you realize it's like there's an 1/8 inch of leather between me and a fucking freeway.
Well, and it wasn't even it really wasn't my fault. I mean, I was on Highway 193 coming back down, and I was coming into kind of like a sweeping left turn, but a blind corner, and I'm coming in hot, leaning,
Mhm.
and I'm coming around the corner, and this dude's on his cell phone drifting into my lane. And
Oh.
I did nothing but just at the immediate end, just everything I had, and I yanked the bike, and I yanked it so hard that I was leaning, but I wasn't crazy leaning, and I yanked it up, and I was almost upright, and I mean, dude, I missed that mirror probably by like this much, and then the corner was there, and I tried to make the corner, and the back tire just caught gravel and just and like
Oh.
went right off
And you're just
and
sliding.
slid down a hill. It is probably a good 6 feet down.
Which doesn't
I
sound
mean,
like a lot, but that's a lot. That's scary.
With
when
like,
you're
No.
flying up
with
a-
like,
yeah.
very
with like plants and like trees and shit.
It's-
So
no,
like
but it's
I
just
hit,
like, yeah.
and
Your
I was probably
fucking heart's
doing,
doing this shit. You know what I'm saying?
I
It's
was
like,
doing 40
Around that
going
curve.
off.
Yeah.
And I like adrenaline, no joke. I literally picked that fucking R6 up, and I pushed that bitch up that hill by myself because like it wouldn't start. Like I just adrenaline, like
Your
I
brain just- you
literally
just-
just like when I yanked that thing up there, and like there was one lady that stopped because she saw it all, and she's like, "Oh my god, do you want me to call?" I'm like, "No, I'm fine. Like I'm no broken or nothing." And then like I got home and got cleaned up and took like my shirt off, and like my whole back of my arm,
just road
all
rash.
of this was all just road rash, just like. And then I got home and washed all this off, and then you could see all like the gravel marks and stuff in it. And,
asphalt
like,
implants, sick.
yeah, like and it, like, but like that, like at that point, you're just like it ain't worth it. And like
Mhm.
I'm adventurous in a car, but like I won't push it beyond a limit. Like there's I've gotten to a point in the Subaru, like yeah, I'm confident, but I've got to a point where I know I was pushing it too far, and you just had to like, I'm done. Like I gotta back off. Like I know my limits, and like,
Oh.
Yeah. See, I'm
but you
still
have
figuring.
you have to get
Bikes are-
scared. Like
Yeah.
you have to have that moment, right?
Like, dude, so there's some pretty gnarly, like, the freeways in Texas are fucking immaculate. It's amazing. They're so flat, and you can just, and everybody hauls ass, so it's great, right? Because I'm just hauling ass, right? Whatever.
Mhm.
The surface streets, because I'm in quote unquote rural Texas, right?
Mhm.
They're not super great. I drive a slam car, so I'm fucking, doing back and forth or whatever. And on the road I come back from the gym, there's 2 really big dips. And I kind of like go into the other lane to drive around them unless there's cars coming, right?
Mhm.
Right.
And I did it today coming back from the gym. And the car fucking surprised me. And this is like, I've been talking about like buying a vet and like doing all this other shit. And something happened today where I was like, maybe I like don't give up on this chassis yet. I was doing 50, right? And I was like getting real close to this pretty nasty dip, and it's on one side, right? And this car is coming, and it's literally like the car passes, and I'm 2.5 feet from this dip, and I just cranked it, and the fucking car just goes whap, like that, just like on rails, dude. Just like pulls over and pulls back, and it's perfect. It doesn't get unsettled. The back doesn't get fucking crazy. It just does it. And I was like I forgot how fucking good this car handles. You know what I
So
mean? Like,
why you drive Subaru?
right? I was like,
Yeah,
I forgot.
Motor that has problems.
But you can throw money at that and fix it. That's fine.
Exactly.
And I don't have this. I have the good engine, right? Like I have the 2.0. So like I got a leg up, and I'm just like, listen, do I do what I've always done, which is trade in a car before I finished it and just go on to something else? And I go back to, and you guys give me shit because my car is the slowest of the group, and I'm aware, and that's fine. It's whatever. But I go back. The thing that I've been thinking about.
I didn't say it.
Literally,
Well, you know-
I could roll the tape on the last episode, and yes, you did. I got video fucking evidence. So like, no. But it's like I go back to my homie. I think back to my buddy Zach back in the day, and we used to give him, we were all doing rear wheel drive canyon runs and all this shit, and we used to give him hella shit about his GSR Integra, and we're like, bro, fucking sell that thing, like get rid of that fucking thing and like get into something else and blah blah blah. And how that fucking car is like a track monster.
Yep. Because
You know
you
what I mean?
finished it.
He just stuck with it, and he just kept it broke, and he fixed it, and he built it, and he just went and went and went and went and went, and the car is super tits, super dialed. It's got an ITR front end. It's got JDM taillights. It's got fucking Jay's Racing front wide fenders. It's got like 8-inch wide wheels in the front. It's got a Mugen. No, it's got a fucking APR rear wing on it. Like thing's fucking tits, dude. And it's detuned to 450. It makes 720 turned up.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Oh
Right?
my!
That's cool.
Yeah, so
That's
he like he
You know, I just tuned it down to 450,
well
but
he
you
was
know, I could
roll
thank you if I wanted
he
to.
used to roll race it, and so he was like smoking GTRs with this fucking thing, right? And then
Oh,
he
I
was like,
bet.
and then he was like, I want to get back into track racing, and he like obviously 720 through the front wheel is not cohesive
No.
with track racing, so he turned it down.
Right.
I
That
think he
makes
put a
sense. Makes
smaller
sense.
turbo on it so it spools quicker or whatever. But like, it's E85 B20 VTEC fucking turbo. He's it's no distributor. It's got coil unplug conversion, like the whole 9 yards. The thing's fucking sick. It's got a bunch of nice parts on it, and the thing's fucking tits. It's got a Sparko race bucket. Like he's got the super
tight.
sick like billet
I
shifter.
love it.
It's dope, and I'm just like, dude. Like, just fucking stick
Good
with
for
the car
you.
and just fucking
Yeah.
build it out. You know what I mean? And
Good
just
for
like
him, man. That's
and
dope.
just like
Yeah.
make it dope, and because there's a lot of fuckboy V8 Subarus out there, but like I don't know. So
Yeah.
No, I mean, you have what we don't have. You have Texas. Like, our limitations are California.
that's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah.
you-
Nah,
I mean-
bro.
this
Oh,
is
I mean,
this is a limitation. right
Yeah,
here.
that,
yeah.
But at least I don't have the legal like you know what I'm saying. Like to
Right.
Chris's point.
Right.
So do you know what an emissions test consists of in Texas?
Huh.
They plug
Like
into OBD2. They make sure all the monitors are running. You get 2 that cannot be running as a giveaway. You have to have EGR and be running the factory math. That's it.
But what if your car doesn't
Wow.
come with EGR?
Well, anything after 96 comes with EGR. So
yeah.
No, don't work that way.
No, wait, Doc.
Huh?
No, not every car comes with EGR.
Yeah.
well, mine does. So
But yours may. This doesn't.
what? How
Any-
does that not have
any-
EGR?
My Subaru didn't, I'm pretty sure.
It comes down to timing.
Oh,
EGR is there to reduce NOx, right? NOx is like
yeah.
high temp shit. So when you can
NOx.
adjust timing and adjust whatever tuning they do, then obviously that reduces temperatures.
So the long and short of it is that if your car has an EGR sensor, that is one of the monitors that is not allowed to fail. So it has to be showing. It has to be ready and monitoring.
If yours is, yeah.
Yeah. So if they plug it into
not all cars
OBD2,
have EGR.
right? So if they plug it into OBD2 and it has an EGR sensor monitor, it has to be showing ready and active,
Gotcha.
right? So you can throw EGR back on, which is a giant pain in the ass. So it's like you just kind of because I mean, does it rob power? Yeah. Is it a huge problem? Not really. Like the TGV valves, the butterfly throttle plate valves inside of EJs are like more of a power rob than EGR. So like I can get rid of those because there's no sensor on those. I can do E85. I can do fucking rotated turbo. I can do whatever. All that shit's cool. I can do big front intercooler and fatty injectors and fucking billet block, and they don't give a fuck. But
And make like 300 wheel.
fuck off, bitch. No, I just have to throw a $15,000 race block in it to make 1100 wheel. You know what I mean? But again, I don't want 1100 wheel. Like 500-600 wheel.
That's a whole nother level, bro. That 1100 wheel
is
is
fucking stupid. Like that's
it's
so much.
ridiculous.
Yeah. So like 500 wheel, like 500, 550 wheel in an all-wheel drive car, that bitch is going to hook. And it's going to smoke a lot of shit that like pound for pound makes more power. You know what I mean? You're fucking with vets. You're fucking with a bunch of other shit when you're making 550 in an STI, right?
Can you make a lot of power in STI?
Yeah.
Damn.
Oh.
Yeah,
There's
it's
you-
just
I
not
mean, there's-
reliable power.
No, well, it isn't on a stock engine, right? But like you have that dude in the Hyper Blue, like the Hyper Blue STI. It's a 2019. It's got a IG Stage 5 race block, which is a $15,000 block. He makes 1100 wheel and it runs 8s with AC and a full interior.
Huh.
That's disgusting.
Huh.
He's got just dump money into that car.
But he
Just
owns
launch
a
every
race
light.
shop. The dude owns a race shop, right? So like it's like he's got that, and then he's got a 15, which is running low 8s and is like a stripped out race car. Like it's a whole different thing. But like his blue one, but he's got like the turbo inlet comes through the headlight. Even on the blue car, it's a street car, quote unquote. But the turbo inlet comes through the headlight. It's all like gutted out and shit, right?
Right.
So it's just like it's just like one of those things where it's like maybe I just keep it, and maybe I just get it to 500 and make it really nice and just fucking let it be a thing, dude. You know, and then I can still track it. Like I can still, like I said, there's like 3 road courses within an hour of me, and at 500
That's
horsepower,
legit.
I can still go drive on a road course.
Right.
Yeah,
You know
and
what I
you
mean?
have
Yeah. So I'm thinking I'm just gonna keep it, and then
That's tight.
probably get a truck for the fam. My wife wants a Denali. She wants to drive a 1500 Denali, and I'm like,
Oh,
Cool. Let her be bougie.
dude, the Denalis are so fucking. The diesels
Bro,
are.
don't do it because that shit is expensive to maintain.
Your mic is super far from your face, Mike.
Don't
The
do it. It's
don't do
fucking
it.
super expensive to maintain.
What, the diesels?
Yes.
Well, you can't get deals on them right now. Like, so, like, if anybody's trying to buy a car right now, post Corona, what's that?
An oil change is $200 minimum.
what?
Yeah.
What?
Dude, it's like
Yeah.
11 fucking quarts of oil,
It's
of course.
oil,
Yeah.
The filter is like this freaking big on those
Well,
things.
that's what it is at Land Rover, and it's only 8.5 quarts of oil.
Yeah, but those things are pieces of shit. That's a whole other fucking conversation. Show me
They
the lie.
are.
Show me the lie.
They are.
Tell me the lie.
I'm
Tell
not.
me the lie.
No, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna deny it whatsoever. That keeps me employed. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you,
Anyway,
Solo Hill, for
Hey,
making
what are you
pieces of
guys?
shit.
What are you guys thinking about a Mark 7 2-door all-wheel drive GTI?
Oh, you mean the thing I've been telling you to do for literally a fucking year and a half?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, yeah, dude, yes, Golf R drivetrain swap. Fuck yeah, I'm with the shit.
So if I do a Golf R tranny,
What?
rear diff, axles, they make a tubular subframe.
I think
that
the
can
gummies
do.
kicked in for Chris.
And then basically the only custom thing that I have to do
Just drive
is
shaft.
the drive shaft.
I'm fucking support the fucking. I think it'd be
I
rad.
support
I
that.
will take donations from all of our listeners to make this happen.
Both of them.
All
Ghetto.
2 of them.
Yeah. No, I think
All
that'd be
two.
rad. I think that'd be fucking. I think if you do it, I think you should. Like put Golf R seats in it or something, like a Club Sport seat in it. Like I think you should fucking do the goddamn thing. I think that'd be tight. Your car is hella clean, and I think that keeping it clean and like pseudo factory OEM plus would be tight. And at 500,
I won't put anything Golf R in my shit except for the drivetrain.
Club Sport stuff would
Maybe
be tight
some,
though.
like, keep the factory seats in it. I like my heated seats. Oh shit! Hey, I did order a because obviously I don't have rear seats.
Right.
I did order the Club Sport style bar and net to replace my rear seats, so that's pretty cool.
Oh, you finally got that shit? That's tight. I'm
I
into
did.
that. I'm into that
Y'all
shit.
fancy with it.
I mean,
Yeah,
that's a
shit's
cool. Like, I mean, so if I was going to get rid of the STI,
You'd buy a Golf R.
it'd
Golf
be the
R.
Mark 8 Golf R,
Hell yeah.
because that bitch is.
I think it's a good idea. We could all go German.
Yeah.
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 That's the only thing though.
If
like,
you did, Chris, it would start every time.
well,
He's right.
In theory.
until the warranty was up, and then
Honestly, this whole conversation thing we've been having, this has been inspirational. But it's sparked my maybe I should go get a heads and
you
a cam,
bitched
maybe.
out on an RS3, so
no, but I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, but here's the thing: he's too, dude. Like for those that don't know, Chris is a large human, and I don't think that an RS3 would be.
It'd be like Donkey Kong.
Yeah,
I still think he either needs an S4 or an RS5 Sportback.
No, but he
No,
already
I
whooped.
can't.
But he whooped an RS5. Like he was toe to toe with
Yeah.
an RS5 in a canyon. So it's like there's like where's the squeeze there? Is the interior nicer? Well, yeah.
Okay,
but
hold on.
No.
With what driver was behind the RS5?
I
I
that's
mean,
a fair point.
straight line. I still walk them.
He didn't whoop me in my S4 in the canyon. He beat me in the canyon in the S4.
It's because you wouldn't let me pass.
Oh.
Bro, I did let you pass, and I was still
Oh.
right behind you.
Oh.
By the way,
What?
everybody, if you make it this far in this episode, Chris has been massively aggressive tonight beyond
Very
this
aggressive.
podcast. I'm just gonna say that
Yeah,
right now.
very.
Like
Always
he
aggressive.
he
No,
has
you're
been
not.
like crazy Donkey Kong, like in the chat messages. I'm just gonna
I
say
want you to
so
be
if
completely honest with me. Did
Nice
you watch
fight, Craig.
Did you watch Godzilla vs King Kong right before you got on the podcast? And you're just
No,
fucking-
I was fucking dominating little Timmy's in Call of Duty. It was great.
Oh, that's why
Oh,
he got
yeah.
dominated by somebody. He didn't get his ass whooped.
No. Yeah, just because you no scope someone from like 500 meters away and you're flying
Oh,
a
yeah.
helicopter,
Kids butter.
you're an asshole if you no scope me from 500.
Kids
It
butter.
means
Jesus
you're
Christ.
hacking.
Yeah.
Kids butter.
No, that's
now. Here we
no.
go.
That's
like,
called
oh,
hacking.
This guy shot me through a wall. He's obviously cheating. Yeah, that's what.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Fucking.
No, I think that you should
Okay,
put a
now.
blower on that fucking thing. Is what I think, because
Please.
heads and
Then he
cam.
really couldn't daily
Something.
that thing to work.
Well, no. Here's the thing. Heads and cam
And still get
He
beat
can't-
by golf. Just
with a blower. I don't think you would. Heads and cam, you can't pass smog. Like you can get a carb legal blower.
Mhm.
You can get a whip.
I've been
That is true.
my significant other than I have been discussing
Significant?
things. So yeah,
Wow.
significant other than I.
Wait, we have
Significant.
escalated.
Kid
Huh?
has a girlfriend.
What's his name?
Nevada.
Kid-
Wait,
Nevada
it's a
might-
girl?
Nevada might be a thing.
Oh.
And that-
Hey,
What?
boo.
That
Huh?
loosens things up.
Yeah, it
Bumfuck
does.
Nowhere? That's like
Service
New
with a smile.
Mexico.
That's like New Mexico.
Yo, fuck New
Nevada-
Mexico
no.
for the record.
Nevada is not that bad, bro. Come on.
Mhm.
Yeah. I'm not feeling New Mexico. I drove to that. Although, you know, a fucking tornado warning today was also not super tight. So, like, I messaged you guys and I was like, yeah, I'm going to need a few as we're, like, hunkering down in the bathroom. Just with the tornado sirens going on in the neighborhood. Like,
So I'm gonna say, after a handful of those, you'll be like, we're gonna sleep in the bedroom. Kids gonna sleep in the bedroom. We'll be okay. Dude, when I was in North Carolina, I think that tornado landed like, I don't know, 3 blocks from our house,
yeah.
and I was just like, yeah, whatever. I'm gonna sleep this off. No
Right.
big deal.
It- I mean, I think that this is the first
Dude.
one, right? And the other
Yeah.
thing is that, like,
Remember my first time.
they don't come through the area where I'm at very often.
Mhm.
Like, these houses have only been up since 2015, and as far as I know from any of my neighbors, they've never seen a tornado touchdown in this area. So at least in the last 5 years, they get hail, you get roof damage, right? Like, roofing companies make a fucking killing out here, dude. It is consistent business. The fucking neighbor down the street just had his whole roof done like 2 days ago, and I was like, "This bitch is about to get hailed on. I have to do it again. It's fucked."
Right.
I'm
Golly.
watching the weather advisor, and they're like, "Golf ball sized hail." I was like, "Bro, I'm so sorry." Right?
Dude, could you imagine like sleep and just get Wizard of Oz away? Just like
We should all be so lucky.
uh,
Right.
And here's the craziest thing about this shit: people out here like don't park in their garages. So here's something I didn't know about Texas at all. When you come out here, there's storage like facilities everywhere. There's 4 by my house, 3 by my house, and I live kind of like I'm on like the fringes of Fort Worth, right, in like a newer area. And they're building them all up and down the freeway. And like none of the houses have like linen closets or like big closets or anything like that, right? So like you just don't have anywhere to put your shit. So you end up with like you have to buy cabinets, like hutches and all that shit. So like storage units are like a huge thing out here because there's nowhere to put shit. So people store shit in their garage, which means they don't park their cars in their garage, but it hails all the time. So I feel like body shops make a fucking killing, like roofing companies make a fucking killing. You know what I mean? It's like this dude, this is a dude with like a newer truck down the road, and he has this thing called a hail guard, which is like this big inflatable car cover that you put over your shit, and that shit's like $600, dude. And I'm like, bitch, just clean out your garage and put the truck inside. Like, I don't understand.
Right.
Stop
So,
hurting your
hey,
shit and just get rid of it.
Yeah, it's like, what the fuck? So like we have
Hopefully,
both of us.
Bryce, you still listen to this? I got a message back from him. Rip his turbo. I've never seen a compressor side of the turbo blow off before.
Wait, he just got that thing finished too.
He just built his I'm not gonna.
Can we just get?
I'm
Can
not
we?
gonna
Can
spoil
you
it too
tell
much.
him to like we need him
I'm
back on
trying
here?
to get him back on. For everybody that's a fanboy on him, I'm trying to get him back on. He's moving back to VA. I don't know if he's getting out of the military or he's transferring duty
He
stations.
just moved. He just moved to New Mexico, right? Like 8 months ago.
Well, yeah, and then we fucked
He
him
just
up.
sent me, he's
Oh,
moving
shit.
again. So he's actually moving again. Come Friday.
So
Car's
let's have him
broken
on next
down.
Tuesday. Job done. What's the problem?
Whenever he's available. Bryce, we love you, dude. We
Jeez.
love your build.
Yes,
You know,
Bryce. We want to talk.
We can get
Dad,
you
please
back
come
on.
home.
Yeah, he just did a autocross run, which failed said component. Maybe I'll let him get into depth like on all that
Yeah.
crap. But
R.I.P.
so he's moving on to bigger and better things. I hope Ed EQT takes care of him.
So was that a new turbo?
No, it's like the same. I think he's running the standard housing. I'm running the XL housing, which is the bigger exhaust housing.
The Magnum. Got it.
Right, and let's say he's abused the fuck out of that turbo, and it's finally given out. Maybe we can go on later for the next podcast. Stay tuned to show actually
Hell
what
yeah.
happened to that shit.
Yeah.
dude. That's
It's really impressive. I've never seen a turbo do this before, which is pretty cool. And he goes into a really good explanation of the abuse it's been through.
So it's like it wasn't the turbo's fault. Is basically what you're saying.
It's really not, dude. He basically had some wastegate issues, or some diverter valve issues, and it basically
Over revved it and blew it out.
Right.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool looking,
Yep.
actually.
I mean, you can overspin it. You can overspool a turbo. You absolutely can fucking overspool a turbo.
Yes, you can.
That
Cool things
whirly
happen.
boy whirled its last whirly. You know what I'm saying?
Pretty cool. So hopefully the next time, Bryce, if you get on, if you listen to this, we need to talk about your chassis build, your engine build.
Hell yeah.
Kyle will rub your
Hopefully
balls if you come back on the podcast.
I don't give a
Mhm.
shit. I'll
Yes,
trade the
please.
balls
Oh,
for the
dude.
gravy, whatever you
Mhm.
need.
I love it, Kyle.
Wait a minute.
Dude,
That's
Tropic
tight
Thunder,
grip.
10 out of 10.
It's more like, whatever.
Where are you
hopefully
going
he'll
with
be
this?
Big old
Alright.
horse cock.
And on that bombshell,
on that bombshell. Thank you.
Podcast.
Thank you.
if you haven't
Thank you,
already, please like and subscribe. Please go on Bryce Jordan Productions YouTube channel and spam his comments, telling him to come back on the
Hey.
podcast.
Buy his
Yeah.
buy his face mask, whatever you need. He's got his own website. He's selling gear.
Plug him.
The guy is doing fucking great.
He is doing great. He's
Watch
doing
all
big
of his
shit.
YouTube. I've learned so much even as a mechanic. I don't work on Volkswagens all the time, but learning even from his builds, his mistakes, etc. Building like the guy's awesome. So
Hell yeah.
cheers, brother.
Hell yeah.
All right, guys. So yeah, please like, subscribe. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And as always, we love you guys. Take care.